Hello y'all, so what I'm doing, I started making this video like on my computer, but then it said it was too large to upload, so I don't know. Um, but what I'm doing is a flat iron how-to video using Marcel wax. This product I got at a local beauty supply store, so check those out. You can try Sally's, they might have it, I'm not sure, but they probably have some at some Sally's anyway. But what I'm using is a Remington flat iron. I have it on the lowest heat setting of 300, and I have it locked in there. That way if I push the buttons it won't move so easily. I have some clips, various clips you can see. Just use whatever clips you have. I have like a claw clip or whatever you, alligator clip, whatever you call these things. Right here I have another this little hair clip, and some other things at my disposal as well. I have this kind of brush. I got that for $1. I have a boar bristle brush and a small tooth comb, and I have a couple of other clips as well. Before I did this, I did go around my edges and I moisturized with this Softy Bergamot hair dress. So I put that on my scalp. So what I did was you make sure you go through and detangle your hair. I detangled it with a pick, and then you section it off in a smaller section to work with. So this section here, if you can see this kind of rectangular section, I section that off, and that's what I'm working with now. And so the way that you do this, you take the section that you're working with, and you want to make it an even smaller section. So I'm going to use the pick to just part this. You can part like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, whatever works for your hair. If your hair is thicker, you might want to work with a 1/4 inch at a time. Or if you don't really care about it being extremely straight, you might work with the bigger section. And then you take that section, so that's about 1/2 inch. It's not even on this side, it's a little, well, in the middle it gets like smaller. But take that section and divide it again into 2 sections. And what you want to do is you can either coat it all right then, or you can coat one section at a time. So I'm going to coat this section with Marcel wax. And so you just take some in your hand, enough to coat your hair, and rub it between your fingers if it's cold to get it more spread on your fingers so you can spread it more easily throughout your hair. Go from the roots and make sure you get your ends. And this will provide some hold to your hair, some shine, and hopefully some protection from the heat. So go through, make sure that section is detangled. Right now I'm using the larger section of this small tooth comb, because this comb, it graduates from small to a little bit larger. And I'm using the comb chasing technique, so use the small end of that comb. Start at the roots of your hair, put it in, and what you're going to do is you're going to follow the flat iron behind the comb. So you're slowly combing through your hair and you're following it with the flat iron. And this helps to straighten your hair while it's detangled, and it helps make it straighter. So you just slowly follow the comb. Try not to burn your scalp, because you want to keep your scalp healthy. Your scalp is the source that your hair comes through. And so if you want healthy hair, you want to keep your scalp healthy too. You can see it has some shine to it. And that's the way you continue. So I'm just going to continue this process. So I'm doing this after the day that I went to the salon school actually. So if you want to hear my little review on that, you can see the video right before this one. I think it's number 61 or 62. I don't have it memorized, but I did number them. But it says something about blowout, natural hair blowout. And so again, make sure that section is detangled after you coat it from root to end. Start at the roots of your hair with the comb, slowly combing down. You can start combing a little bit just to make space for the flat iron to get in. Slowly combing down, follow it with the flat iron. And this technique, if you're not used to it, it may take you some practice, because when I first tried it, or like after I saw somebody's video and I tried it, it doesn't feel natural. You're using two hands. It's not like when you don't use the comb and you hold the hair with one hand and then flat iron. It's a little different than that. So don't be discouraged if at first it's hard to get it, because you can do it with practice. And so that's the way that goes. And you see, it doesn't move as much. It has some hold to it and adds some shine. So if it's a windy day and you want a hairstyle that's not going to blow as easily, not saying that it won't, because it will, but it won't move as easily with this. It's an alternative to using hairspray or gel. It's a wax, so it's a little thicker than some grease and serums that you use when you flat iron. So part off another section and do the same thing. Splitting it in half. And coming it through. Coat it very well from root to tip. Make sure you get the ends. Detangle. Position. Bring the hair to the back of the comb. That makes it a little less likely to slip out while you're combing. And follow. Again, I'm using the lowest heat setting on this flat iron, which is 300 degrees. And when I get done with this, I'll try to come back to you with a better quality video so I can show you the final result, because I know it's kind of hard to tell sometimes with the quality of this video. Continue that process. Another thing with using this comb chasing technique, it seems that sometimes your hair doesn't revert back as easily. You get a straighter flat iron and then your hair, it seems like the flat iron style lasts longer. But that's also something to be cautious of, because you want to make sure that if you want to keep your natural texture, you're not damaging your hair strands, their natural curl pattern. And And you don't really have to worry about the style so much when you're first starting off, like what your final result is going to be. Unless you already know, then you can flat iron it in that style, in that fashion. But if you don't know, you can maybe go back and maneuver it a little bit. You can also roller set your hair. After this, put rollers in your hair and leave them in for a while. So I'm back in school now, and this is my first Saturday after my first, it wasn't a full week of classes because we started classes on Wednesday, but I'm doing this on a weekend. Make sure, like somebody said before in a video, make sure you have time when you're doing your hair. If you're doing like something that's going to take a lot of time and patience, so that you don't go and rake through your hair or do something that could cause harm to your hair because you're in a hurry. Alright. You want to take care of your hair. I don't really like how that side looks right now. So I'll probably have to come back and revisit that section. And then if you get tired of working in the front, you can move to the back. Start working in the back section. You can coat it while it's still up, and then go back and you can coat the top part as well after you part it off. Usually I start in the back of my hair when I'm doing it by myself and I'm not making a video. That's what I used to do anyway, was start in the back of my hair and work my way to the front. In the back of your hair, I don't usually use a mirror because with practice, it might be, some of you might, be able to do that after a while. Is use your sense of feeling instead of your sense of sight. But it can also take some practice. You might mess up a few times, get burned, but and then in the back, sometimes it can be difficult, even a little more difficult than it is working the front using the comb chasing technique, because it is unnatural and then you can't see. So it also comes with practice and patience. Patience is a good thing. In natural hair, at least mine, it does take patience. So just flat ironing. And if it's too rough trying to use the comb chasing technique in the back, maybe you just want to use your hands in the flat iron. gonna finish this, and that's how you do it. Also, you might want to keep a towel handy because when